Hi, welcome to today's tutorial. Today's tutorial will be for 3 to 6 month size. If you want it in the other sizes, I'll be filming another tutorial for another size later on. But I will also be linking the written pattern once it's ready. I'll link it in the description or in the pinned comments. So let's get right into today's tutorial. So we'll be making this 3 to 6 month size, and I'll be using this pink 100% acrylic yarn. One ball is 50 grams, and I'll also be using a 4mm crochet hook. You also need a tape measure, stitch markers, and a yarn needle. So to start, you are going to make your slip knot and you're going to chain 70 chains. So I have a total of 70 chains. This gives a total of 16 inches. So if you have less than 16 inches, you might have to chain more to get to that measurement. If you have more than that, based on your intention, you might need to reduce the number of chains so that you have the perfect waist measurement. Make sure your chain is not twisted. You are going to slip stitch to the back bump here. So you see 3 bump lines, 1, 2, 3. You're going to go through the middle one, that's the back bump, and make a slip stitch. So your ring for the waist is formed. Now for round 1, you're going to chain 2, and you're going to work 1 double crochet in each stitch all along the round. Now the chain 2 does not count as a stitch, so for our first double crochet we are going to go through the very first chain. So I'm going through the back bumps because it gives a nicer finish. One double crochet. So continue making 1 double crochet all along, and I'll meet you at the end of the round. Now at the end of round 1, you're going to slip stitch to the top of the first double crochet. Not the chain 2, it does not count as a stitch. So at the top of the first double crochet. You're going to get confused. It's best that you mark this with a stitch mark. Okay, slip stitch. Start round 2, chain 2, so we always chain 2 to start. Yarn over, and we are going to be working on the ribbed waistband. So you're going to make 1 front post double crochet around the first double crochet. So be careful not to work around the chain 2 of the previous round. Yarn over and work 1 back post double crochet, front post double crochet, back post double crochet, front post double crochet, back post double crochet. So continue working this pattern. So at the end of the round, I'm going to slip stitch to the top of the first front post double crochet, not the chain 2. Now for round 3, we are going to repeat round 2. So we are going to repeat round 2 for round 3 and round 4. To start round 3, chain 2 and work a front post double crochet around the first front post double crochet. So ignore the chain 2 of the previous round. And then work a back post double crochet around the previous back post double crochet. Front post double crochet, back post double crochet, front post double crochet, back post double crochet, front post double crochet, back post double crochet. So continue doing this all around and I'll meet you at the end of round 3. So at the end of round 3, slip stitch to the top of the first front post double crochet. Now chain 2 to start round 4. For round 4, you are going to repeat everything we did for round 3. So do that and I'll meet you at the end of round 4. I'm at the end of round 4 and I'm going to slip stitch to the top of the first front post double crochet. Now the waistband is done and we are going to divide our waist into 4 parts. Because we have 70 stitches, we are going to have 2 sides being 17 stitches and 2 sides being 18 inches. There's not really a hard and fast rule about this. Just make sure that the waist is aligned and is divided into 4. So chain 2 and work 2 double crochets in the first stitch. So the same space as a chain 2. And now work 1 double crochet in each stitch till you get to the stitch marker. Now the stitch marker, work 2 double crochet into that stitch. 1 and 2. Now we are going to work 1 double crochet in each stitch till we get to the next stitch marker. I'm going to work 2 double crochets into the stitch with a stitch marker. Okay, now work 1 double crochet in each stitch till you get to the last stitch marker. Make 2 double crochets into the stitch, the last stitch marker. Now I'm going to work 1 double crochet in each of the remaining stitches. So at the end of this round, you should have 74 double crochets because we've made 4 increases. Now slip stitch to the top of the first double crochet. Now for round 6, you're going to chain 2. You're going to work 1 double crochet in each stitch all around. Remember, the chain 2 does not count as a stitch, so we are starting from the first stitch. So continue working 1 double crochet all around, and I'll meet you at the end of the round. So at the end of round 6, slip stitch to the top of the first double crochet. Now we are going to repeat round 6 for round 7 to round 14. So you're going to do that until you have a measurement of 6.5 inches. Do that for round 7 to round 14, making 1 double crochet in each stitch all around. Remember to always start with a chain 2, and I'll meet you at the end of round 14. So now I've completed round 7 to round 14, and from my waist to my crotch measures a total of 6.5 inches. So we are now going to work on the legs of the shorts. So we have 74 double crochets in total, and each leg is going to have 37 double crochets because we are dividing the project into 2 equal parts. So we are going to count 37 from our starting point. And then mark it with your stitch marker. Now insert your hook, chain 2 to start, and we are working 1 double crochet in each stitch all around till we get to the stitch marker. So I'm at the stitch marker now, and I'm going to work my final double crochet into the last stitch. We are going to join this last stitch to the first double crochet. So slip stitch to the top of the first double crochet. Remember, not in the chain 2, to end round 1 of the first leg. Now to start round 2, you chain 2 and repeat round 1. So you're making 1 double crochet into each stitch all around. Remember, the chain 2 does not count as a stitch, so we are starting our double crochet from the very first stitch. So repeat this all around, and I'll meet you at the end of round 2. Now at the end of round 2, slip stitch to the top of the first double crochet to close the round. Now for round 3 to round 6, we are going to be repeating round 2. So you are going to chain 2 and then work 1 double crochet in each stitch all around. Remember, the chain 2 does not count as a stitch. So complete round 3 to round 6, and I'll meet you at the end of round 6. So I'm done with round 6, and we are now going to work on the edging. So for round 7, chain 2, we are going to work front post, back post double crochets, just as we did for the waist. So we yarn over and work 1 front post double crochet around the first double crochet. Be careful not to work in the previous chain 2. Yarn over and work a back post double crochet, front post double crochet, back post double crochet, front post double crochet, back post double crochet, So continue this pattern all around for round 7. So at the end of round 7, slip stitch to the top of the first front post double crochet. Chain 1 and cut off your yarn. Make sure you cut it long enough to weave in your ends. Okay. Now our first leg is complete. So we are now going to work on the other leg, and we are going to insert the hook in the next stitch. Make sure you don't insert it where you have the first leg starting from. So we insert in here, grab your yarn, pull through, make sure you pull long enough. We're going to use it to sew the crotch area and make a knot to secure it. Insert your hook, grab your yarn, chain 2. You always start with a chain 2. So you're going to repeat everything we did here for this leg. So work 1 double crochet in each stitch all around. We are starting from the very first stitch where we have the chain 2. Okay, so this is the last stitch done, and you are going to slip stitch to the first double crochet, the top of the first double crochet. Okay, so you are going to repeat everything we did here, working 1 double crochet in this stitch for each round, and then when you get to the 7th round, you do your front post double crochets and back post double crochets. So you can go back in the video and watch that, and once you've completed that, I'll meet you at the end where your second leg is done. Now that the 2 legs are done, you're going to turn your work wrong side out. And we are going to close the crotch area. So use the tail, the leftover tail. Use your yarn needle. And you're going to close it like so. Can go through a number of times to make sure that it's secure. And then you make sure that you weave in all the remaining ends. So your shorts is done, and you're now going to work on the strap. You'll start by making your slip knot. And chain 140. Now when you have your 140 chains, you're going to skip the first 2 stitches. The loop on the hook does not count as a stitch, so yarn over, skip the first 2 chains and make a half double crochet in the 3rd chain. Yarn over, make a half double crochet. So you are working half double crochets in each chain for the entire length of the strap. So now that you are done with your half double crochets, at the end of the row you are going to chain 1 and cut off your yarn. Make sure you cut it long enough. Pull through, and I like to secure both tails with a knot. There you go, and then you cut off the excess yarn. You're going to now weave it through the shorts. Make sure the front side is facing you. Where you have the seam is the back side, and this is the front side. So you are going to go through with the front side of the strap with one end. Make sure you identify the middle part when you go through. I'm going through the 2nd row. I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We are going in and out. So we are skipping 8 stitches and we are going in and out. That is done. So like I mentioned, if you want to make the bigger sizes, I will link the written pattern in the description. You can purchase it and make the bigger sizes, and you can watch the next video to find a hat to go with these shorts. See you in my next video.